After 115 years, the building is slated to be demolished in early 2026.
I would hope that Matthews will be remembered as this iconic building that was much greater than bricks and mortar. It brought back political rallies. We had athletic type of events in here. We had City of Boston events in here. It was about bringing communities together. And if you think back to the 1910s, when this building opened up, it brought communities together.
In a city with as much history as Boston, it's easy to overlook a place as storied as Matthews Arena. Built in 1910, the arena is the oldest multi-purpose athletic facility in the world and features the world's oldest artificial sheet of ice. Originally known as the Boston Arena, it was the first home of two of the most successful franchises in American pro sports, the Boston Celtics and Bruins, and has been at the epicenter of the city's robust hockey culture for more than a century. It's also hosted speeches from multiple US presidents and concerts by world-famous acts such as Bob Dylan, The Doors, and Johnny Cash. Today it's owned by Northeastern University and is home to the school's two hockey programs, as well as its men's basketball team. But this chapter of Boston history is coming to a close. After 115 years, the building is slated to be demolished in early 2026. Structural issues discovered in 2024 led Northeastern to make the difficult decision to tear down the historic arena and replace it with a new facility. Massive steel scaffolding installed on the exterior of the arena's southwestern end temporarily extended the building's lifespan to allow for a proper farewell. But after one final men's hockey game against rival BU, it'll be time to say goodbye. We're here in Boston on the campus of Northeastern University at Matthews Arena, the world's oldest hockey rink, at least for now. It's a historic place, and nobody knows that history better than Jim Madigan, who's been here as a player, as a coach, and now the athletic director at Northeastern. Jim, thanks for having us.
Welcome to this awesome barn from a hockey terminology. It's been home to so many different hockey teams and groups. It's played to history, to presidential rallies. It combs so much. It's almost like it's a Renaissance building, and it's ours, and it's been home for Northeastern for many years, and now we're getting ready to transition to a new facility.
And you talk about being built in 1910. We get a good sense of the architecture of that era. Looking up here and you see this wooden roof. I mean, you just don't see that kind of thing anymore.
We've had multiple renovations to the facility to continue to keep the building as nice and as magical as it was in 1910. It's that uniqueness of this facility, of the Boston Arena, the Matthews Arena, that continues to thrive here today. And it has so many little nooks and crannies, kind of like the old Boston Garden, as well as the history to it that makes it a special place.
Right. The thing that I found most interesting in my research, this was the first indoor ice rink in Boston, and it really plays such a key role in growing the hockey culture in Boston and allowing the game to move inside, be played, on a more regular basis without having to worry about weather, and just, and now you see Northeastern's a big part of that Boston hockey culture, and you see it spread throughout the entire United States, and this building was so key to that.
This building was the catalyst to all of that opportunities. And, the NHL was getting going in 24, and usually when you have an NHL team in an area, it helps with youth hockey and everything else. So, that started, probably in the late 30s or early 30s with the emergence of the game, and then it continued. I have so many friends who played and have stories about playing hockey in here through the 40s and the 50s and the 60s or high school years, then went on to play college. So this was the mecca, this building of high school hockey, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and then it translated into the college. At one point, all four college teams, Northeastern, Harvard, BU, BC, played hockey here in this building. It's been the home to hockey at the high school level, the collegiate level, and it's just been that hub of hockey activity through the city of Boston.
Yeah. One way that the fervor for hockey is expressed here is that the student section known as the Dog Pound. Is that right behind us here?
So the doghouse is right behind us
Doghouse,
right here.
I apologize.
And no, absolutely, and you can see it's all bench seating. There's no chair back, so everyone can stand up. And and it extends all the way to where we're seating and around the corner there. And it's one of the loudest, most active spirit groups on any campus. And they travel. They're passionate about Northeastern athletics, passionate about Northeastern hockey. And you see them traveling when we go to our away games, whether it be over in the local area, or even they'll travel further out as we go up to other parts of New England. This is the men's locker room, which has gone through different iterations over probably a 50-year period. This is where the Boston Whalers, when they came into the WHA in '72, where their locker room was. And then when Northeastern Hockey took over in 1980, full use of the building, this was the locker room. This is home for the players, right? So it's their place where they get away. They get away from the coaching staff and everyone else and all the distractions, and it's their room. Obviously, coaches will come in here and have their video played and whatnot. You can see most recently up top, all of the players up above who are all Americans, starting back in the far end is Josh Manson, who played with us from 2011 through 2014. And Josh is a member of the Colorado Avalanche, won the Stanley Cup a few years ago. But they're all Americans from 2013 up until last year.
And I've got to notice, of course, the barrier. You can't step on. That's a big hockey superstition. Nobody gets near the logo.
You can't step on it. It's a fine. They've got their own kangaroo cord in here. It's a fine, and to make sure that happens, you can see how it's all roped off, right? And so, the Husky dog is something, is something we all take pride in, because it reflects and resonates because of the teamwork and togetherness. And if you think about a Husky, pack and pride, they've got pride, and they all have to work together, right, to move that sled forward, right? So that's what we are. Every individual is important. So every individual Husky hockey player is important to the team's success, and no greater symbol of teamwork than a Husky. And so that means an awful lot to the guys and everyone who wears a jersey with that Husky on the front of their jerseys.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Part of our locker room renovations back 15 years ago was the extension of this strength and conditioning area. So trying again in an old building, maximize as much space as you can maximize. Years ago, there used to be a set of stairs in here that went upstairs to where the concession stand was upstairs. So we knocked out all those stairs and created much more room. And so you got the men's locker room right there. No better place to have a weight room than off the locker room, right? The players are inside, in and out. And then behind us to our left is a women's varsity hockey locker room. So gives them access in through the space. And then you have an athletic training area here for the trainers to work with our student athletes. So this comes in really handy. The student athletes are in here almost every single day with our strength and conditioning coach. And so much of a hockey player's development for our men's and women's hockey teams is spending time in here, is the strength component, right? The conditioning component. And we're fortunate to have a great staff of athletic trainers and strength and conditioning coaches that help our student athletes reach their goals, help them to get stronger, to be more effective and better players. Yeah. This is the players' entrance on the men's hockey team on the way to the ice. And every program has their own sayings, and you can see it right now. It's not about me, it's about the teammate in front of me. This has been part of the men's hockey program for a long time, and it just reflects that, hey, you're a team, right? And that you got to sometimes put your own individual needs aside for that of the team, right? And so if you're always thinking about your teammate, you're always doing the right thing, right? If you look at a couple of the murals on the right-hand side and the left-hand side, just talks about some of our recent success with the bean pots and Hockey East Championships. And if you look right down the left corner, that's me holding the bean pot at the old Boston Garden back in 1985. So they kept that photo alive, but it's shared with all of our successes. There was a bell right behind us as we came in, and this is a signal to when you start a game that it's game time, right? So everyone hits that, it's game time. Focus, we're ready to play now, right?
Yeah.
So when you hit that, that means the mindset shifts right away from, okay, we're preparing, now it's go time, right?
Yeah.
It's go time, and that's an indicator is, hey, we're ready to go, and
I like that.
we're all focused.
Yeah,
As the game begins.
Real tactile indicator.
There
that's
is,
a good one.
exactly, yeah.
The reason we're here is because this building is not going to be around much longer. What can you tell us about the decision to demolish the building, why that's being done, and and how heavily that decision weighed on the school to get rid of this historic Boston landmark?
So the building, we're in its 115th year. There was some structural issues and some of the integrity was compromised. That as the university and its facilities group and outside consultants looked at it, it was just it wasn't feasible to continue to try and invest dollars into a 115-year-old facility that was being somewhat compromised. So the university leadership and a tremendous president that we have in President Joseph Ayoun took the lead with our facilities folks and with some of our athletics folks and said, hey, we're reaching the usefulness of the building. To continue with the investment would be an awful lot of money, and let's look, and we had a vision to look at what we can do on this plot of land that allows us to enhance the Matthews Arena facility and allowing us to have more amenities in the facility, right? So this is a one activity building right now where you can play either hockey or basketball, you can have an event on the floor. This new facility will allow us to have multiple activities going on at the same time, signature building that's going to touch every constituency on our campus. So it's just not a hockey rink, it's much more greater and broader than that, and something that will all have a feeling of pride and being proud of a new facility.
Yeah, the arches go all throughout.
Which is neat.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lobby is beautiful. It reminds me of like an old movie theater almost.
And it's an iconic view. If you looked at all the architecture here in this lobby, and it goes back again to 1910, and through different iterations of this lobby, we've been able to take advantage of opportunities in looking right at the glass. In 1995, there was a renovation to the building, and at one point, the concession stand stood right here, and it was all sheetrock. We decided to flip it, knowing that there was glass back here, and so we flipped it to just give a perfect view to the ice, so as people are walking in through here trying to get food and washrooms or whatnot, they can still see the activity going on in the building, whether it be the game itself or some between half intermission basketball, some activities going on. So it just opened it up and just allowed people to take more advantage of the lobby. So here we are, in what would have been used as a ticket area back in the 30s and 40s. So you've got an old ticket booth that would have had its individual windows, 1, 2, and 3 on this side. And as people came off of St. Paul Street into the building, I'm sure there was long lines back then. Get them there, and then they'd either go to the left or the right into the building. So this just allowed the building to distribute the people who come in the building, and then we had the main entrance obviously by the iconic arch. So it was just another opportunity to get people in and out of the building a little bit quicker. So you don't see ticket box offices like this anymore, right?
Do it on your phone.
Yeah, exactly. But it's neat, and it's again part of that uniqueness and the flavor of the building.
Yeah, that's special.
We come to the outside of the building, and one of the most iconic parts of Matthews Arena is this arch above us. Yeah. And it's had a lot of front facades to the building, but the arch has always been consistent, right? So you look at all the architecture in that arch and how the depth of it, and it signifies excellence, to Matthews Arena. The nice part is that we're going to be able to preserve this. And it'll be inside the building, but preserve it, the whole depth of it in the new facility, which creates that relationship and connection from the old Boston Arena, Matthews Arena, to the new athletic facility at Northeastern. So we're thrilled to be able to do it. It's going to take a lot of workmanship and money to be able to maintain it and restore it, but it's something the institution and Northeastern is really committed to doing, and we're thrilled to be able to do it.
Seems like it's such a focus for the school to make sure that, yes, you're having this brand new facility that's going to be state of the art and all that, but also, remembering what came before it and preserving that tradition.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, you always want to embrace the past and look to the future, right? And that's really important because Northeastern is just not one-dimensional, not just athletics, just not academics. It plays across so many different various facets of the institution and aspects. And this new building will be able to do that. We touch so many people in Boston, and then Northeastern has so many of its own moments and memories. It's played to so many different constituencies. So I hope people remember this building as a connector to all the communities. It's sad to see the building go because of all the history. We still own the memories and the moments.
Yeah.
Those don't go away. That's in us. That's part of our soul, that's part of us. But it's time, just because of the structure and where the building is from a bones perspective, that it's time now to move on and transition to a new facility.